They told me tonight that this was kind of a comedy thing, but I got to start out. I got to tell you, I got to make a confession before we go any further. I got to get this off my chest. You people need to know this. We've known each other like 30 seconds now, and I got to get this off my chest, okay? And I'm going to say it. I'm just going to blurt it out. My wife and I have issues in the car. We have automotive angst. There's tension behind the wheel with me and the missus. You just saw her, lovely woman, very intelligent. But we get in the car, it's oil and water. It's really bad. For some reason, I can't fathom this, but my wife does not like the way I drive. Which is strange because I have a license and everything. But to be fair, I don't like the way she drives, okay? You know that distance you're supposed to keep between you and the guy in front of you, that follow distance? It's like 1 car length for every 10 miles an hour. This distance makes my wife mad. I don't know why. It's very strange, but she tries to minimize that. Usually if she's driving, I'm shrieking and covering my eyes. It's just a bad scene. So we have automotive angst. Now that we're good friends, years from now, God forbid, should we split up for any reason, you can tell your friends, yeah, I'm pretty sure it was something happened in the car. So you'll know. It's like, oh, did she, catch him in bed with another woman? No, it was the car. I mean, look at him, Who's going to get in bed with this? But anyway, unless you're legally obligated, it's not so much. So now I want to take you back in time. Now that I've gotten that off my chest, I can relax now, finally. We're all good friends. I want to tell you a little Christmas story, okay? Everybody get in the mood. It's not Christmassy. It's kind of hot. But think back with me. Go back to a gentler time. Let's go back to a gentler time, okay? Let's go back to Christmas time of 2007. Okay, it wasn't that far, but wasn't that long ago, but it's Christmas time, okay? And we Dowlings are trying to continue our streak of doing a little Christmassy thing, a little overnight trip to see a Christmas play. Okay, in 2006, we go over to Atlanta, this place called the Alliance Theater. They do a Christmas Carol. It's lovely. We had a great time. We think we want to go back. So the wife gets on the internet. She's really good at that. She gets on the internet. She's getting ready to pull the trigger on the tickets, and she notices they're having an essay contest. Ooh. You write an essay describing what going to see a Christmas Carol at the theater meant to you and your family. Well, a couple of things you need to know about my wife. One, she's a great writer. She's a professional writer, and she's really good at it. Number two, she's not afraid to drop the A word on people, okay? So she writes this beautiful, touching essay about, we have autism living in our house, but we like to do normal things. It's very important to us. Normal things mean a lot. And they do. They really do. It's a beautiful essay. Of course she wins, okay? So we win a bunch of free passes. So I'm very proud of my wife, saving me some money. That's great. Yeah. Fantastic. Yeah, give it up for Suzanne. It was a lovely essay. Yeah. So we win some free passes and the opportunity to come up on stage and read the essay before the show starts. That's pretty cool. So we decided to take my in-laws with us. Now, they live here in town. I love them. I got the best in-laws in the world, and I'm not just saying that because she's sitting out there. Let the record show that even if my mother-in-law was not sitting out there, I would still say the same thing. So, love you, really. Maybe a ham would be nice. Okay, but anyway, so I got these great in-laws. So we're going to take the whole tribe. We're going to Atlanta, okay? So we rent a little larger van to go with us. So here's the configuration in the car, okay? I'm driving. This is good, right? Got the wife riding shotgun. Got the in-laws right behind us in that seat right there, And in the very back of the van is my giant child. He's all splayed out across the back there. That's where he likes to ride, so he's doing that. So we're on the way, we're driving along, and my wife, being the intelligent woman that she is, has printed out directions, once again from our friend the internet. She has printed out directions where we need to go in Atlanta. Okay, so she's trying to head off this tension in the car. She knows it. It's not a secret. I didn't tell you anything secret. She knows that we have tension in the car. So we're driving along, we follow the directions, boom, we find the hotel. Comes time to go to the theater, jump in the van, we got the directions, boom, we find the theater. We go to the thing, we stand up on stage, Suzanne reads the essay, my son leans over and goes, "Thank you," at the very end. That was cute. Anyway, so, that was nice. So, clap, clap, clap. The show starts, we watch the show ends, God bless us, everyone. And then, clap, clap, clap. We're all filled with a Christmas spirit. We're heading back to the van. Oh, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful feeling. And I realized that maybe our trip planning to Atlanta has not been complete because I do not have directions from the theater to the hotel. Okay, this is not a big deal, but I have the directions from the hotel to the theater, right? It's like 1.5 miles. How can I screw this up? I got plenty of gas. What's the problem? So I get in the car and I'm thinking to myself, All I got to do is reverse interpolate these directions. I got to reverpolate these directions, okay? So I get in there, and we leave the parking lot. I make a couple of turns. A couple minutes later, we pass the theater again. All right, not so good. All right, so I ratchet up the reverpolation a little bit, okay? I'm going to reverpolate a little bit harder. So I make a couple of different turns. A couple minutes later, we pass the theater again. This is not going good. So I look over at the wife. The teeth are gritting, you know. She got a big vein coming out of the neck. But it's kind of cool because she can't yell at me because her parents are sitting right behind us. Oh, I love that. That was kind of fun. I was digging that. But by this point, it's pushing 10 o'clock at night, you know, and we're all hungry. I got in-laws that normally eat about 5:30. Okay, so they're hungry. They're being good sports. I got a kid who eats all the time. We promised him a pizza. So we all really, really, really want to get back to the hotel. So at this point, I'm reverpolating like a madman. I start making turns left and right. I'm making turns. A couple minutes go by. We pass a sign that says, "Welcome to Buckhead." Now, I don't know much about Atlanta, but I know that the hotel we're staying at is nowhere near Buckhead. So what happens now? Anybody ever ridden in a car with your significant other? You think you might be a little lost? What happens now? You know. Go ahead, say it. The wife says, "Honey, you need to pull over and ask directions." And so now the tables have turned. Now it's my turn to have to stifle a little discussion. So I do. And I say, "Oh, okay, honey, that's a great idea." And up ahead us by a Zippy Mart. So I pull into the parking lot of the Zippy Mart, hop out of the van, walk into the Zippy Mart. It's a standard issue Zippy Mart, okay? There's about 8 inches of bulletproof glass. There's a little hole you talk in. There's a little slot for the money. And behind the bulletproof glass is a pleasant-looking fellow. He appears to be Indian. So I walk in. I lean over to the mouth hole. "Excuse me, sir. I'm looking for the Georgia Tech Conference Center Hotel. Can you help me?" As soon as the word Georgia leaves my lips, he gets all excited. He knows the answer to this question. He says, "Oh, yes, sir. The Georgia Dome is 10 blocks that way. You can't miss it. It's huge." Yeah, thanks, man. But I'm looking for the Georgia Tech Conference Center Hotel. "Oh, the Georgia Dome is 10 blocks that way. You can't miss it. It's huge." So at this point, I'm thinking, okay, this guy really doesn't know where I need to go. So I'm kind of doing my nod and smiling, backing away from the mouth hole thing. "Oh, yeah, thanks. Thank you. Great. Thanks a lot." He says, "No, sir, I insist. Ask the customer. He will tell you. The Georgia Dome is 10 blocks that way." I said, "Okay, great." So I turn around. There's a guy looking at the pretzels. You know, I come over here. "Excuse me, sir." And I love approaching people in a big city. I love that. "Excuse me, sir, do you know the way back to the Georgia Tech Conference Center Hotel?" I don't know, man. I don't live around here." "Thanks a lot, buddy. It's nice talking to you." So I start making my way to the door. I turn around, and this nice Indian fellow has left the protective cocoon of the plexiglass. He's standing by the door. He is waiting for me. He opens the door. We walk outside. He says, "Sir, the Georgia Dome is 10 blocks that way. You can't miss it. It's huge." This guy really wants me to go to the Georgia Dome. So again, I thank him. "Thank you very much, sir. You're very nice, very kind. I appreciate it." And I walk back toward the van. Now I open the door of the van and I can feel the tension. It's like steam coming out of the van. Everybody in that van is honked off at me because I'm lost, all right? So I get in the van, and before I can say a word, from the very back of the van, my son, who spends days and weeks watching The Simpsons, says, "Thank you, come again." So, yeah. So you think, you know, if you got somebody, you got autism living in your house, you're thinking, okay, we spend a lot of time doing some weird things, and Lord knows we do, but we watch The Simpsons a lot, and man, he popped that tension bubble with that line right there. Like a balloon, baby. So the tension just goes away from the car. We're then able to successfully reverpolate our way back to the hotel. Everybody gets our food. It's a happy time. My son has saved Christmas. So, yay, Sam. Yeah. So, it was a great time. It was a great time. I just want to leave you with one little thought. And what I take away from all this is that, you know, if you can laugh at it, it won't control you. So God bless you. Merry Christmas.